Well, my friends, how you all doing? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to one of our very special FM21 Project Black Sea videos. Last episode, my friends, is linked above for you right now. That was the official end of the series, I guess you could say, because we played the Champions League final, but I promised in that episode we were going to do two very special one-off episodes. Today's first one is kind of like a big series review. It's going to be like a look back at the last 12 seasons and what we achieved with Litex, and then there is going to be another one out on Sunday, which is which is an episode where we go 8 years into the future, so we round off 20 years at Litex basically. So yeah, feel free to tune in on Sunday for that one. But anyway, my friends, let's get on with this one. There's lots and lots to talk about. It's quite a lengthy video, but hopefully I'll make it as entertaining as possible. Let's get going. So here we go, my friends. This is the first of two specials, as I've already said, and yeah, we're going to take a real deep dive into Litex. We're going to take a look at literally everything where Litex are concerned. We'll take a look at transfers, we'll take a look at our records, we'll take a look at the players, we'll look at some of our star players as well, so you can see how they developed. We'll take a look at the manager's screen, we'll take a look at the Hall of Fame screen, and also what we'll do is we'll take a look at the other leagues that we could have managed in, and we'll see what happened in those leagues basically. I think it might be interesting to see who was winning those leagues, how far some of those clubs maybe went in the Champions League. Did they get anywhere near where we did? Probably not. We got all the way to the final, but it'd be interesting just to see sort of what sort of stages those leagues got to compared to where we got the Bulgarian leagues basically. So let's jump on in, my friends. First things first, what do we want to look at first? I guess we should just take a look at the club first and just see how we kind of developed it over time, basically, while we were at Litex. So you will remember we went in this season, didn't we? The 2021 season. It seems so long ago now. 12 seasons we spent in game getting Litex to the point that we have. First season we went up as champions, as we all know. It was a top season. Next year was 11th. We did enter that relegation phase, didn't we? And we scraped it and managed to stay up in the end. The next season was unbelievable. We did have a good transfer window, really seemed to help us. 4th place finish, which was good enough to try and qualify for Europe. I don't believe we did qualify for Europe. We can go back and take a look at this stuff, but I don't believe we did qualify for Europe that year. Then we finished winner of the league the following year, and then from then we have won it every single season, which is pretty incredible, ladies and gents, to be able to sit here and say that. If we're taking a look at the screen, if we're taking a look at this screen here, worldwide reputation now, we are rich. If you were to go back to the very first episode, you'll see that the reputation was barely national and we had no money. We were very, very light on the ground where finances were concerned. So yeah, it is amazing to be able to sit here with this sort of reputation for the football club now. We are still playing at the Gradski Stadion. It's one of those things. It kind of got increased to its highest capacity. I did apply for a new ground because I thought we were going to need one when we started playing regular Champions League football. But as we all know, the chairman looked after his money until a new consortium came in and took over. They weren't mega rich, but they did at least start putting the money back into the football club. Just take a look at some general information so we can see how this screen's changed. It's changed a lot. The ticket prices have gone up a smidge, not too much, but a smidge. Our reputation is obviously massive now, all the way up to a 4.5-star club, which is absolutely amazing. But the biggest change is obviously down here at the bottom, ladies and gents. You're going to see that Zakanovic, Kovacevic, Topazov, Gagliardi, Malinov, Lesko, Ivaradi all made it into favoured personnel. Then we've got Pospisil. He's the only one to make it into the icons. And then you're going to see yours truly sitting there with legendary status. And I think that is kind of to be expected because of how well we've done where this football manager experiment is concerned, really. If we take a look at the facilities, you'll see that we've got excellent training and youth facilities, so they really improved, as did our youth recruitment and our academy coaching. They were things that were slowly improving. When we first started this was basic, very, very basic, all of this stuff. And now we find ourselves with very good stuff. If we take a look at the history, ladies and gents, we're going to deep dive all these competitions a bit more. But as you can see, we've got the 1 Champions League to our name now, 13 FBet titles. You'll see that we won the majority of them. To be fair, there were only, 4 titles before we came in. So yeah, we've won a ridiculous amount of titles. 12 Kupa Bulgarias, 9 Super Bulgaria, 2 Vitória Ligas. We actually won one of those, and then there's a couple on the end as well. Records are there to be broken, my friends. We're obviously not going to be worrying about that now because we are done and dusted. Right, so if we go to records, this is a really interesting screen to take a look at, and we can see that, you know, have a look at some of the modern day records that we have broken. Obviously, most points in a season is one that we've done. Most wins in a season is one that we achieved as well. Most league draws in a season, 13. That was, I believe, our first year up into the FBet division. And it was that season where we were just scraping by, weren't we? Most goals scored in a season, 118 goals. That is pretty incredible. There does seem to be a glitch here, though, because it says fewest goals, 0, 2015-16, unless they did actually do that, but I don't think they were in the FBet at the time. So yeah, there are a few here that are a bit glitchy. It's one of those things, unfortunately. Highest attendance and all that, that's going to stay the same. Biggest win, 12-0 against Barte. Obviously, was in the Champions League, wasn't it? 5-0 defeat in 2022. We were at the football club, so that's shocking, really, from us, isn't it? And then the highest scoring league match was an 11-0 against Itar, which I'm not sure, but it might have even been in one of the episodes. As far as transfers are concerned, ladies and gents, you will see our highest fee paid is something that we broke as well, just over 16 million for Everson, and obviously highest fee received that of Dejan Vasilevich for 22.5 million that we received when he went off to Wolfsburg. 71 million we spent in one window as well when we went big, or it was kind of like go big or go home territory. As far as players' records, you'll see Zhivkov is actually at the top with his most league goals of 124, and he scored a hell of a lot of those goals for us, didn't he? What I will do, what we'll try to do, is go and have a look at where some of the old players are from the very beginning of the series. We can go to the transfer screen, we can filter through and try and find a lot of the players. Pospisil is now the record holder for most goals in a season with 46. He's just done that in a season just gone. Obviously, this player, we had no control over that, but I'm sure one of our players is probably very close to breaking that record. Obviously, in a season, 29 he got in the league as well. Zekanovic is up there with the top assists. We've got Carlos Kameni. We had him right at the beginning. He's got the oldest player. Zhivkov with a 16-second goal. We got Damyanov. He ended up going off to Ludogorets, didn't he, a few seasons ago? 6 goals in a game. 5 goals in a league game for Alvarez. Torlakovic, what a season he had with the assists, 23. 27 clean sheets for Petar Petrov as well in the 27-28 season. 11 man of the matches for Zekanovic. Plamen Stoichkov has got the youngest goal scorer, and Plamen Nikolov has got the oldest goal scorer. He was a centre-back, wasn't he, when we first started this? And then if you're looking at the sequences, 17 matches won in a row, 35 without losing, 2 lost in a row, 7 without winning, 3 without scoring, and 11 without conceding. So yeah, they're all records we've set. It might seem a bit weird that it's only 17 wins in a row, but remember, if you're losing the Champions League, that's what kind of breaks that record, because I know we were winning quite regularly sort of in the league, weren't we? League position, as you can see, we didn't finish third. We finished 4th, so I'm not sure why that's got 3rd there. We know we finished 4th. There's lots of stuff here. We don't really need to go through all of that, ladies and gents. But yeah, just a little look at the history and sort of where the club has got to. I guess next thing, we'll just take a look. If we go to the transfers, what we'll do is we'll go all the way back to that first season. And we'll just kind of like filter through slowly, and we'll see if there's any names that kind of pop up. Obviously, Bakir Asim is one. He just retired in the game at 32 years of age, but 129 games, 32 goals. Obviously, that is just in the league, but he was really good for us. I really, really enjoyed Rasim early on in the series, and he won a Kupa Bulgaria with Litex, another Tora Liga. He didn't really do much else with us. FBet League, he got a free FBet Leagues with us as well. So yeah, he was actually with us a bit longer than I actually first thought, to be honest with you, but he was really good. I liked him. Carlos Kameni, he was tragic, but he still managed to make 47 appearances for us, but he was not good for us. He really wasn't. If we go to the next season, any names? Obviously, Petar Petrov. Who's that? Oh no, he's not. That's not the one I was thinking. Federico Fonseca was a player we bought in on a free. Thought there was going to be big things from him. Never happened. He ended up going off to Ludogorets, and then look, he's just been a bit of a journeyman and didn't really develop into anything, did he? What else we got? No, nothing there. Nothing on that one. Iradi, is he still playing? Yes, he is. Iradi was quality for us. He ended up going to Torpedo for 750k. He played for 2 years, and then since then, he's just kind of been there on collected his $9,000 a week. Well, that is a shame because he was excellent for us. I really like the work that Iradi got through, but it's one of those things. It tends to happen a lot. Plamen Petkov was a player. There was a lot of promise, but he's now playing for Pirin. We sold him for 200k, a free transfer, 100k. Yeah, pretty incredible what happens to some of the players, isn't it? Anyone else here? No, not really. No, not really. No one there I want to look at. 23, 24. No, not really. No one here again, I don't think. We'll just take a look. Oh, but Barama Fomba, he retired at 29. Seems to happen a lot on Football Manager where they retire so young when they can't find a club. But he wasn't amazing, Fomba, but he was a mainstay, wasn't he? He was a bit of a squad rotation player. Kakamakov. Lots was promised when I bought him through. If we remember, he played 5 games and scored a goal, and then we let him go, didn't we? Because I weren't sure he was going to develop. And it looks as though I was proved right, ladies and gents. 24-25, what we got here. Del Duca, Martin Del Duca. He's available on a free transfer. No surprise there, really. He wasn't amazing, was he? Marjanovic, obviously, we let him go to Stoke, didn't we? Now he's at Middlesbrough. He was good for us. Really liked him. No one here really. It's funny when you go through this because you kind of forget the players that you signed. Pozguy, now there's a name we will all know, and he's developed quite nicely in the end, hasn't he? He looks like a pretty good player. His physicals were what put me off him, and I decided to sell him. 3.5 million I got for him. And he then gone to Schalke for 5. But it was just those physicals kind of put me off. And although he was playing well, he did take up one of those non-EU spaces. So, yeah, it was a bit of a difficult one to keep him around. There's Damyanov. Where's he playing now? He's playing for Voluntari in... where do they play? Yeah, in Romania. Okay, so he must have moved on. Another player who went for good money. He played 2 games for Ludogorets. Oh my God, and then they let him move. What a shame. What a shame. Really good player for us. Really consistent player. And Bojan Mrzic. Now, here's a player, ladies and gents, that was a real shame. You remember rightly, we picked him up on a free transfer, and he had that minimum fee release clause. And Feyenoord picked him up. It looks as though they played him a bit, sent him out on loan, then sold him to NAC, and they've just sold him for 5.75 million. They've made really good money on the player. And at 26, he looks good, but he's not as good as what we currently have. So, you know, is it a big loss? Maybe it wasn't in the end. 26-27, D'Alessandro. What a shame. He's joining Sheffield United. That's a big move for the player. He's off to be playing... Where are they? Yeah, Premier League football he's going to be playing. That's amazing. We picked him up for no money at all. Look at those statistics. Really, really solid player for us. Ended up going for 10 million quid, which it was cheap. It was very, very cheap. What's he going for then? What's he going for? Doesn't say. Oh, 14.25 million plus add-ons. So it could be even more than that. So they've made a good amount of money out of him, haven't they? Radoslav Kostov, what a player. He really was a good player, but we could not turn down that money at the time. And he hasn't really gone on to do amazing things, has he? Still playing in China, though, which is interesting. Probably earning some big money there. Sergei Klikin, obviously we know we let him go recently. He was a really good servant of ours. Hasn't really developed into anything too special though, has he? Bogdan Stratton, you've got Magnuson, Crasado. Now there's a player. Gutted we lost him. But again, I don't really feel like he's gone on. He's only 23 though, Jesus. He must have been so young when we signed him. 27-28. Ranolfsson, what a guy, playing for Nuremberg now. Basoik, I still think it's a shame that Basoik went. I know we've signed a really good keeper who took us to Champions League glory, but he went to Zagreb, didn't get a game, and then has just moved to Schalke for more money. What on earth is going on there? But he plays for Schalke. He's going to be linking up with Pozgai. Unbelievable. Padrag Kokoran still hasn't got a club. Oh, that's not good to see. Not good to see. I really like the work. I really like the work that he did. Vasilevich, as I've already mentioned, he's at Lokomotiv Moscow. What happened there then? Went for 22.5 million, played one game, and then they made a huge loss on him. A huge loss. 4.7 million. He's playing in Russia now. I did say when I sold him, I didn't think he was worth that money. And we kind of had their pants down, hadn't we? Next up, Stein Grimson. Obviously, there's a name we'll all be familiar with. Playing for Beijing Guan. 26 years of age. Still looked good. Just weren't at our level anymore, unfortunately. Nagoy, literally the strangest signing I made during the course of the series, because he played like 8 games and then I sold him for 3 million. Sarsbo, he's still a player with us, isn't he? He's out on loan in Italy at the moment. It's easier to just do it for the players that are kind of here, because these are the ones that we signed together. These going out, they would be these players that we signed, so it is easier. Greg Fielding, as we know, he went out, and yeah, gutted I lost him, to be honest with you. João Vitor was another one I was absolutely devastated to lose, but he's still there at Bristol City, even though they're in the Championship. Okay, so he stayed loyal, but I don't see how the Championship was better than playing in this division and then going on to win a Champions League. Vanek, one of the biggest disappointments was Vanek kicking off that second year, because I think he could have been brilliant, like mainstay for us. As you can see, he's gone on to do pretty decent things at Sevilla. And then 2030-31, I don't think there's going to be anyone in here that's moved on. No, there's not, because Huang Yi is still playing for us, and then this would just keep us up to date. So yeah, there's some interesting players in there, really, really interesting players in there. I'm sure you'd all agree, ladies and gents. The finances look like this going into the next season, which we're not obviously going to talk about today, but there was a lot of money there on offer, which was absolutely amazing. What else do we want to look at? What else do we want to look at? Let's take a look at the competitions, and we'll go through it like year by year, basically, because that's something we can do. If we go to stages, and then if I go to the first season, then you will know we weren't involved that first year because we were in the Vitória. But we'll go to the next year, and this is how close it was, really. This is how close it was to us being relegated, because this was the preliminary phase, and then if we go to the relegation phase, oh my God, we ended up pulling out a big gap there. But the fact we were involved in this was very, very stressful at the time. So that was how it went that year. So if we move on to the next year, I'm going to apologise, my friends, if you hear any noise in the background. I think my mum's just arrived with Litland, so the dog might bark. They might go crazy because Emily's not been here for a couple of days. She's been at her grandparents'. So then the next year we finished 4th. Pretty good stuff. 53 points on the board. If we go to the championship phase, and you will see 62 points we ended up with. And it's crazy to think that season we were on the cusp of even winning the league, because we weren't that far off, were we? We really weren't. We were super consistent that season. And then if we go to the next year, then this is where we started cleaning up. So what I'm going to do is just do it on the championship phase, and I'll show you kind of how it actually looked after 31 games. So that first time we won it, we had 4 draws and 3 defeats, 65 goals scored, 27 against, 76 points on the board. The next year was a ridiculous year because we went undefeated. It was 25 wins and 6 draws, 58 goals, 15 conceded. There was still teams scoring more goals than us at this point, but 81 points on the board. The next year, 25, 5 and 1, 61 goals scored, getting closer to being top goal scorers in the season, but only conceding 25 goals is pretty good, 80 points. Next year, 28 wins and 3 draws, 72 goals scored, clear top goal scorers that year, and a great defensive record with only 16 conceded, 87 points on the board. Next year, 30 wins, 1 draw, 0 defeats, 77 scored, 12 against. That's an unbelievable defensive effort, 91 points on the board. And then from here, is it from here? It might not be. 29 wins, 2 draws, 0 defeats, 94 goals scored, 19 against. Next season, 31 from 31, 102 goals, 11 goals conceded, 93 points on the board. Next year, 31 from 31, 115 goals scored, 13 conceded, 93. And then our most current season, 31 from 31, 118 goals scored, 12 goals conceded, 93 points. What an absolute joke we made of the league. We can actually look at some records in the league, and you're going to see that Litex's name is mentioned a lot. And the one I want to draw your attention to more than anything, ladies and gents, is the matches won in a row. Litex are currently on a run of 94 games won in a row, and they're on a run of 189 games without defeat in the league. That is a joke, isn't it? We went 12 games without conceding at one point as well. We really did start to make a bit of a mockery, didn't we? 38 goals in a season for Hristo Stoichkov of CSKA Sofia. Holy cow, that is a lot of goals. 29 we got this year with our striker. That shows you, that is some going, that, isn't it? Torlakova's up there, Busoic's up there though, Kovacevic is up there. It's just ridiculous how many of our players end up making it into all of these awards and stuff like that, my friends. So the last thing I really want to look at where Litex is concerned is the manager. And then what we can do, we'll take a quick look at a few of the star players, because there's a few players that I think are real stars of the series. We'll take a look at those, and then we will... then we'll move on and just quickly take a look at the other leagues as well. I don't want this to be like a video that's like super long. I want it to be, condensed into a nice amount so you guys can watch it and take it all in. It's crazy to think that we won the Champions League on $3,500 a week. Imagine if Jose was only paid that much, and you think about the work that he's done, how many times he's won the Champions League and stuff. But yeah, that's what we're paid. We let all the money go to the players. We don't mind. We don't need all the glory. As you can see, though, the manager really just kind of came on leaps and bounds during the course of the series. It says Route 1. Now, Route 1 doesn't necessarily mean a ball over the top long ball. Route 1 just means you want to go from A to B as quick as possible. And that is pretty much what we did, especially with our counter-attacking football. 4-2-3-1 wide was our favourite formation. A standard playing style. Now, that does surprise me because I feel like we are far more positive and attacking. And then it was unknown because we didn't end up really using the second formation in the end. We just stuck with the one that we felt did best for us. The manager is known for leading teams to title wins. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? Prefer attacking football, prefer defensive football, prefer possession-based style, play entertaining football, Danny Ball at its best right in there, signing younger players. So yeah, it's all those traits are very much the case. We take a look at the attributes as well. I feel like that's one of the best manager attribute groupings I've ever put together during the course of one of these series. I know I started with some badges, and I'm going to be doing that in future as well, because I don't think it's actually that realistic to start with 0 badges in a series. So I might start with some in the future, and then the manager might kind of progress a little quicker. But yeah, pretty good stuff there. 563 games we ended up managing, 425 wins. A lot of that is just because the FBet became a breeze for us. 73 draws, 65 defeats. It means we had a win percentage of 75%. Only conceded 469 goals is probably the most impressive statistic of them all, where that is concerned, to be honest with you. The last thing I wanted to look at was the job overview as well, where the manager's concerned. So obviously it's just confirming all of those details I mentioned a minute ago, but 17 cup wins, 10 league wins, 1 promotion, no relegations, which I'm very proud to be able to sit here and say, because I did think we were going to get relegated that first season up. As far as all the fees and that are paid, you can see that, but we bought 76 players and sold 98 during the course of this series. We was a manager for nearly 4,500 days, 11 awards to our name as well, and we've received a national ranking, a nationality ranking of 3 and a nations ranking of 1 on the Hall of Fame, which we will take a look at. If we just look at the job history, this is basically how it looked during our time at little old Litex. First, obviously, that first season, 11th, 4th, then we never dropped any lower than first in the league. The awards that we picked up, Manager of the Year, on a few occasions, because I don't think there is a Manager of the Month, and we actually picked up Manager of the Year this year. And as you can see, we completed a domestic treble every year from 24-25 season, and then we did a quadruple in our last season. It's a big haul. It really is a big haul where championships and stuff are concerned. A quick look at the Hall of Fame list just to kind of show off what they were saying. So if we go to Nation, that makes me the best manager in Belgium, basically. So we are top of the pile there. No surprise with the amount of silverware to our name. And then nationality, we're actually third, just behind Frank Lampard, which is a mental one. Oh, he's been at Porto and Chelsea winning all sorts. And Bob Paisley, obviously, of Liverpool. So there you go. Ahead of Brian Clough. We're in there with some renowned names, aren't we? So yeah, a quick look at the current team. Let's get rid of all this. Petar Petrov, what a hero of the series he was. Doesn't look like much of a player now, but truly was a hero of the series. If we were to go down a little further, I think Senchik the last couple of seasons has been a very good player for us, a real hero in the midfield, and developing nicely at 21 years of age. If we carry on going down, Gagliardi, had he not been the whingiest player known to man, might have received legendary status from me, but he just turned into a whinger. Didn't end up playing that much football. He's wanted because he wants out again, he wants to leave, and he just, for the last few years, that's what he's been like. But what I will say about Gagliardi is he probably, bang for buck, the best signing, one of the best signings we made, because at 20k he barely cost any money at all, and he ended up these obviously are just your league statistics. I think it's unfortunate that they only put the league statistics here. I'd like to see them separated, so it'd have like appearances overall and then have like cup and league. I'd like to see that something changed, but yeah, he made 142 appearances for us in the league, 36 goals, 42 assists, so yeah, not a bad player overall for the money that we paid for him. Lesko, I think, has to go down as a real fan favourite as well, and definitely a favourite of mine. As you can see, his ability's really kind of dropped off because of the level of the player we've been signing. But again, he cost us no money at all, and he went on to make bags of appearances, loads of assists and goals, and just a very consistent performer for us. So yeah, really like Jakub Lesko. Torlakovic may have only been here, a season and a half, but what an impact this player made, and what a player he is on paper as well. Theodor Topazov. Now, he is legendary because he came through as a regen right at the beginning of the series, and he's gone on to make 245 appearances, 97 goals, 68 assists, 35 man of the matches, and look at that average rating. And even though he doesn't look like the best player, continues to put in performances at 27 years of age, and just thoroughly deserves to be a big part of this team. Absolutely love him. That was Topes. And then Pospisil, I think the money we paid for him, he has come up trumps, hasn't he, with the goals that he scored. So 26 first year, 22 the next year, 29 in the league next year. But in all comps, it's actually 34, 28 and 46. So that's a real good return for just £13.5 million, which is not a lot of money to spend on a striker. Kovacevic, what a player he is. Like, I never dreamt that he was going to turn into this player when I bought him. But yeah, look at him, double digits on both assists and goals. What a player he is. And then Alvarez is the other one who I have fallen in love with. This season, he's blown a bit hot and cold this year, unfortunately. Just the 14 goals. But he's had a few injuries, but he was very, very good in the league, like when he was called upon. But yeah, he's definitely one of my favourite players as well. I think Zekanovic deserves a bit of a nod as one of my favourites. And then, the biggest one, who it's a shame that he's not with us anymore. Where is he? I think that's how we spelling his name. Zhivkov. Plays for Torpedo. There he is, Radoslav Zhivkov. 33 years of age now. Look at those attributes. He's not much of a player, but we've got to give him a shout out because he really kind of kept us in it. That first year, 26 goals in the league. And then he played for quite a few years regularly in the league and was smashing loads of goals for us. And then he got to 17, and then we started signing better strikers. He only made those few appearances. He asked to leave, and then he just hasn't done it. He's gone away, and he hasn't done it at another club, and I think that's a shame. But I feel like he should definitely be in the icons of the football club, but he's not. But I would just go as far as to say that Zhivkov was my favourite player in the whole series, just because of his story, and that he doesn't look that great, but he just did it time and time again. And that is the squad, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're going to take a look at the other leagues now that we could have managed in. But one thing I do want to bring your attention to is that we obviously did really improve the reputation of this league. We ended up 11th in the end. That's how we finished off, which is not a bad effort. Now, we could have managed in Russia. So if we click on Russia, this is what's been going on, basically. Past winners in the competition, you will see that from the beginning, Zenit absolutely dominated, and then Spartak Moscow were a team that we had the opportunity to go to, you will remember, during the course of the series. It was way back around about episode 30, and they were going to offer us £100 million worth of transfer budget, but I was so in love with Litex, I didn't really want to move, but they've won it the last 2 years. They've broken that Zenit dominance. Loco have been there or thereabouts as kind of like a runner-up and a third place. Krasnodar have come close. Dynamo Moscow, you got Rubin Kazan, CSKA are in there as well, but no one could break that Zenit dominance. Now, if we click on Zenit, I'm not sure how we would be able to tell, but I want to see how they kind of did in Europe. Do you know what? Actually, we'll do the Champions League in the end. We'll just look for Russian, Romanian, Turkish, Bulgarian, and there's another country we could have managed in. And off the top of my head, I can't remember it, but we'll have a look in a minute, basically, at the countries that we could have managed. I'll have to have a look in a moment and see which leagues. If I actually, I can find that out. Add, remove leagues. Bulgaria. Romania, Russia, Ukraine, Turkey, Bulgaria. Oh, I must have said them all. Okay, whatever. So yeah, that's what that could have happened there. And we'll take a look in a moment at the sort of Champions League and how these countries have done. But you can see they definitely would have had teams, like very good teams, sort of in the Champions League and that. Let's have a look. Let me see if I can do it. So they would have had to qualify for the Champions League, and they did this year. And they finished bottom of their group. So, yeah, they didn't even get close. So, yeah, we'll have a look at it in a different way in a moment. But that's kind of how that league's been going. So, no real shocks there, really. I think we kind of expected Zenit to be up there. So no real surprise there, which is a bit of a shame. But if we go to Turkey, there has been a surprise in Turkey with the winners. Galatasaray have won it again this year. But if we go to the past winners, there's been a few surprises in Turkey. There really, really has for me. So Göztepe, they won it the first year, which is incredible, with Fenerbahce finishing second and Yeni Malatyaspor finishing third. That's incredible. I might actually have a look at the league tables in a moment, just see sort of like how close it was. Galatasaray then won it. Fenerbahce, bridesmaid for a second year in a row. Trabzonspor finishing third. Then they went on to win it the next year. Sivasspor finished second, Besiktas third. Fenerbahce then won it. So they spent that time as the backup dancers. Now they're up front. Galatasaray finished in second, Trabzonspor. Then Galatasaray went on and won it quite a few years in a row, with Fenerbahce, Trabzonspor, Besiktas in there. Samsunspor finishing third. Başakşehir finishing third a couple of times as well. Samsunspor must be a team on the rise as well. They finished third a couple of seasons here. Then Sivasspor came out of nowhere and they won it, with Besiktas finishing second and Galatasaray finishing third. And then Galatasaray just reclaimed with Trabzonspor runner-up and Samsunspor in third place. And I am actually going to take a look at these league tables, because this is the most exciting league, in my opinion, that we could have kind of managed in. But yeah, Göztepe won it by 1 point in the end. Malatyaspor were quite close as well. Look at Galatasaray down in fifth. Some real teams struggling in there that season. Then Galatasaray. Sivasspor were fourth that year, so they've been there or thereabouts. Trabzonspor, Fenerbahce, where's Göztepe who won it? Wow, down in 11th. And Yeni Malatyaspor as well. They really towed off that next year, didn't they? Then we go to the next one. Trabzonspor's up there. Sivasspor second. So they've been there or thereabouts, haven't they, Sivasspor? Göztepe 11th again. Malatyaspor, they've moved up the table, which is good to see from them. No real surprises. And then we go to the next season. Sivasspor 5th. You'll see Göztepe's 11th in 3 seasons in a row. They've finished 11th, with Yeni Malatyaspor still up there. So yeah, pretty interesting. Then this is Galatasaray, Kasimpasa. They've just moved up the table a fair amount, haven't they? Sivasspor dropped off a little bit. We go to the next one. Sivasspor. By the way, Samsunspor are nowhere to be seen, and then they've finished third a couple of years, and I can't see them here at the moment. Göztepe moved up again. Interesting to see. Sivasspor still up there. I'm just looking at the teams that are a bit smaller, really. So they've finished 10th, which is interesting. Samsunspor. So Samsunspor, 12th. Season before that, Samsunspor, 17th. 11th. So they were there. It's just me and my eyes playing tricks on me. Göztepe 15th this year. Wow. And then they're 14th the next year. Sivasspor there or thereabouts. And then Göztepe got relegated. They won it all those seasons ago. The year that Sivasspor win it, they get relegated. That is pretty crazy. Following year, Sivasspor are there again, but they finish 4th. Samsunspor were a team on the rise. That is a really, really exciting league, if you ask me. Really, really exciting. Maybe Turkey might have been one to go to if we'd have thought about it. So next up, we can take a look at the Ukrainian league. And I don't think this one's going to be too exciting. There's two dominant forces in Ukraine, in case you don't know, and it's Shakhtar Donetsk and Dynamo Kiev. So if we look at the past winners, and yes, no surprise, Shakhtar Dynamo. That's kind of how I expected it to go. Zorya managed to finish second this year. And then if we're looking at the third place teams, we've got Vorskla, Dnipro, Zorya, Oblon, Ruki. So yeah, no, it's kind of how I expected that to go, to be honest with you. It really is. There's nothing too much to look at there. And then the last one for us to look at is, of course, the Romanian League. And this one looks like it's been really, really fun, like the way it's been contested. FCSB are a big football club. I believe, no, they're not who I'm thinking they are, but they are a pretty good, big club in Romania. So Cracova won it the first year. We've sold a couple of players to them. Cluj and Cracova for the first few years kind of like just contested it with each other. Then FCSB come into it. Viitorul Constanța, I believe, isn't that the team that Hagi owns? I'm pretty sure it is. Chairman... No, it isn't. There we go. That's mugged me right off. I swear that's the team that Hagi owns. Unless the chairman's changed hands, it could well have done. But I know that the great Romanian player Hagi owns a football club because his son came through the academy and he now plays for Rangers in real life. So yeah, there's a few teams there as well that all finished third. But Astragugu, I always look out for them because... obviously, the West Ham connection when they knocked us out. Got knocked out by the Romanian Farmers. But yeah, that looks like it was pretty much the same old teams every year as well. So Bulgaria, was it the most fun? Turkey looks like it was potentially. But yeah, the last thing we're going to do, we're going to take a look at those Champions League spots for all the teams, and then we will sign this one off. So first and foremost, let's look at who won this competition year on year. So Juve, Chelsea, Liverpool, Chelsea, Real Madrid, Liverpool, Inter, Barca 3 years in a row, Litex. Dominated by the English and Spanish clubs. Why am I not surprised? Always seems to happen for whatever reason. Man City made the final, Inter, United, Napoli. Interesting. They got close again, didn't they? We had to beat them. Chelsea, PSG, Chelsea, Valencia, Man U. Yeah, it always seems to be... Valencia is a surprise, going to be honest there, and so is Napoli, but it always seems to be the same clubs, doesn't it, where the Champions League is concerned. Fixtures... what I want to see... What I want to try and do is... From when we were starting to be involved, basically. So it was 11th, 4th that year there, wasn't it? I believe. I want to basically. That's not what I want to look at. I want to look at stages from 2023. So what I want to try and look at is. So if I just want to make sure we were involved that year. No, we weren't, because we didn't qualify that year. That was right. First time we didn't qualify, did we? And then did we qualify the next year? Are my eyes playing tricks on me, or are we not there? No, I don't think we are there. I can't remember when we started qualifying for the Champions League. Was it this year? Didn't we finish? Yes, there we go. We finished bottom of the pile, didn't we, that year? So there you go. We had Chelsea, Bayer Leverkusen and Atalanta the first year. So from 2026, we finished bottom again. Wow. 2027, we finished bottom again of our group. This is pretty crazy to think that from then we went on an absolute tear, isn't it? Then we finished third because we went into the Europa League. We had a fun time in the Europa League, didn't we, get into the quarter-final? And then this is where we started getting out of our group. Look at that group we got out of. Pretty ridiculous. So it's semi-final, final. No. This season was the final. That season was the final. So semi-final. That was a quarter-final, wasn't it, that year? So yeah. So anyway, so let's kind of take a... I want to basically look from the quarterfinal onwards and see if there's any teams from the years that we from the countries, that we could have managed in. So not that year, there wasn't. The next year, there wasn't. There wasn't again that year. Wow, none of these countries were very good, were they? They weren't that year getting to the quarters. Nothing that year getting to the quarters. Nothing again. We are going to be the one and only team that ever made it from that bit of the world, aren't we? Yes, we are. There you go. There we are. There we are. There we are. Yeah. So I think that just goes to show you, ladies and gents, just how special it was and just what an unbelievable job it was that we managed to do. But yeah, that kind of brings this to an end, my friends. I do hope you've enjoyed it. Not sure if there's too much else I could have showed you, but we're going to be doing another very special episode on Sunday. So maybe drop in then if you've left some comments and we can take a look in that episode. And today you won't, my friends, we are done and dusted. We've wrapped up 12 years at little old Litex in Bulgaria, and I think it's nice to see what we achieved as well, where the Bulgarian division was concerned. We took it to 11th in the world, did far better than any of the other countries that we could have managed in as well. So all in all, I think it's a massive success, my friends. Like I said at the beginning of today's video, be sure to check in on Sunday to get a look at this little FM universe 20 years into the future. I think it'll be a really, really good watch, so make sure you check that one out. And then be sure, my friends, if you're into your FM content, to check in next week, because I will be revealing what I'm going to be doing on FM22. So lots to come, my friends, where this little old football game is concerned. But until then, my friends, if you're new, consider hitting that subscribe button. If you've enjoyed this video, drop a like on it. But until next time, my friends, I'm saluting you all. Stay safe, stay humble, and I'll see you on the next one.